Hi friends, I'm Walker and welcome back to Olive Ave Nails, where we talk about vegan and cruelty-free nail polish. Today we are doing a quick comparison of these three absolutely gorgeous lighter greens from Zoya. This is another video in my greens comparison series, so if you haven't seen the rest of that series, I will link it up above in the cards and also down in the description box, so be sure to check it out. And let's dive into talking about these three polishes, and we'll talk about them first individually, and then I'll come back and show you them swatched on swatch sticks to show you similarities and differences. All right, why don't we start with Neely, which is this absolutely gorgeous soft green. This is from the 2013 Lovely collection, and this is described as a full coverage earliest spring green, which I think is absolutely perfect. And Neely has a little bit of a soft spot in my heart. It is one of the first Zoyas that I ever purchased, and so this has been in my collection the longest, and I just love this color. I fell in love when I started looking at Zoyas. You know, I hadn't really ventured into interesting shades yet. I was really just wearing grays and was painting my nails at home, and I just absolutely fell in love with this color, and wearing it just makes me feel so happy every time I do. It's so springy. I love Neely. I will not talk about the rest of the polishes for quite this long, but this one is such a wonderful shade. Up next is Tiana, which is a little bit brighter, and this one is also from a spring collection. This is from the Delight collection, which was released in 2015, and Zoya describes Tiana as a pistachio gelato green, which is really fun. I think the gelato just refers to how creamy this polish is. It has a lot of white undertone. It's really, really pretty. And this one actually was one of the polishes that first kind of drove me to think about comparing Zoyas on my channel, because I loved Neely so much and I had seen this one on the website, and it was just really hard to tell from the website, you know, how similar or different they were. And so I really thought that doing comparisons would be a helpful thing to put out into the universe, and so here we are. All right, and then the last polish that we're looking at today is Lake, and Lake is actually described by Zoya as a blue, and the description is a softened blue that gives the effect of serene water with just a hint of vibrancy. And this is from the 2016 Whispers collection, which was, again, a spring collection. And I decided to include this one here because I actually included it in my light blues comparison video that I did last month when I was doing blues comparisons on my channel. And I had multiple people comment and say, Lake is green, Lake is green. And so I think it really does fall in between blue and green, so I'm including it in both. I am in the camp that Lake is actually a bit more blue than it is green, which I think is what Zoya would say as well. But I know a lot of people see this one as green, you know, when they kind of look at it in the blues in their collection. So I'm going to compare it here as well. And so this is Lake. All right, so before we get any further, I am actually wearing this polish on my nails. It's very similar to Neely. It's a little bit less green, a little bit less bright. This is Society Wit I Heart Succulents. And so I know it looks like I'm wearing Neely. It's very, very close. I'm working on a video that is comparing a couple shades in my collection that are similar to this to try and find a dupe for one of the Kale polish shades. So I am not wearing Neely, but it's really, really close. So here are the three polishes that we are talking about today. And I think down here I've arranged them from kind of most green to most blue. And so you can see that Neely really fits right in the middle. It has a little bit of blue to it. I would say that that actually comes from just having a little bit more gray in it than Tiana does. Tiana is so bright and so springy. Look at that. It almost has a little bit of yellow undertone. So if we look at these two up close, I think you can actually see quite a bit of difference. On the Zoya website, I really had a hard time telling a difference between these two. Tiana definitely has much more of a yellow-green undertone, and Neely has much more of almost like a blue or gray undertone. It's a little bit more muted. They are both really pretty soft greens, but Tiana definitely has more brightness to it, more yellow to it. All right, and then if we grab Neely and Lake, let me get these in a good position for you. Here we go. Here's Neely and Lake. And I think this really shows just how much green is in Neely. It does kind of look, you know, dusty or muted out down there next to Tiana, but it is a really soft, bright green in my opinion. It's not quite as blue as Lake, so Lake definitely has more blue in it. And let me know down below what you think. Would you classify Lake as a blue like Zoya does, or would you classify it as a green like so many of my subscribers did in my last video? Definitely go check out that other video, because I think next to the blues, Lake looked really green, but next to these greens, Lake looks really blue. It's a true chameleon color, and it is is really, really beautiful. All right, so now that we've looked up close at all three of our main polishes, I'm gonna bring in some comparison polishes. So the first polish that I wanna bring in is Snow White. This is just a classic white cream from Zoya, and I think this is really helpful to see how much pigment is in these polishes. Neely looks super, super light, but next to a white cream, you can actually see a lot of green in there. So I think these polishes look really washed out, they look really light, but they actually have quite a bit of color in there. And so I love bringing in Snow White for these lighter shades because it just shows how pigmented they are. And it's really surprising to me every single time. I also just wanted to bring in one of our brighter greens. This green Tilda definitely has a more yellow undertone, but you can just see how much brighter it is even than Tiana, which looked so bright just compared to Neely and Lake. I don't usually bring in polishes with other finishes into my comparison videos for my creams, just because if I started that, there are so many shimmers from Zoya, but I wanted to show this one, Vespa, because it is a pixie dust, and I think that Vespa could look really nice paired with Neely in a manicure. They're very close in color. It has more of a similar undertone to Neely than it does to Tiana. Tiana's a little bit too bright here, so I thought I'd bring in Vespa just because it is so close to these three. So here are the three polishes that we talked about today. Like I said, Neely has serious sentimental value to me. I absolutely love this one, but I also really like Tiana because I like wearing a little bit more vibrant green on my nails. Green is one of my favorite colors to wear, up there with blue, and so I would say that my two favorites here are Neely and Tiana, but these three are all so different. I do think you could justify having all three in your collection if this is the kind of shade that you pull for. If you're not someone who wears these colors that often, I do think Neely and Lake are a little similar on the nail, and so you may not need both of those in your collection. If you want to go a little more true green, you could go Neely, a little bit more true blue, you could go Lake. But like I said, if these are colors that you wear a lot of, that you'll pull a lot, you could totally have all three because they are different. There are no dupes here. And as always, thank you so much for joining me to hang out and chat about nail polish for a few minutes today. I will, like I said, link my playlist for the rest of my greens up above and down below, and so I hope that you will check out the rest of my greens comparison series if you love chatting about nail polish like I do. Awesome, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!